Hello all. Globalization is making the availability of business or technologies all across the world through the speed of markets. Globalization is making various huge changes in the world where people are moving away from their self-contained countries to the more integrated world. In order to globalize a business, a company needs to bring change in a business strategy made for a single country to a special one having ability to operate in multiple countries. Globalization impacts a business and a company in various ways. Globalization impact on businesses in the worldwide market can be described under two broad categories of market globalization and product globalization. Market globalization is a reduction in selling barriers of a product or services to other countries other than its home country. It is very necessary for a company to make success easier by effective globalizing selling products.
Nowhere is marketing globalization felt more than in the stock market. Stock rises and on the news that a product or service is not faring well in some part of the world. Take crude oil as an example. If the cost per barrel rises, promoting gas prices to shoot through the roof, some stocks will still fall. If one country's political mission desires another nation's goods or services are bad, but social demand runs rampant, stocks run small. Marketers plan with damage control in mind, so the brand products and services forget the name of the product or service known to promote them in as many countries as possible with particular cultures in mind.
The globalization of production. The globalization of production refers to sourcing of goods and services from locations around the globe to take advantage of national differences in the cost, quality of factors of production, such as labor, energy, land, and capital. By doing this, companies hope to lower their overall cost structure or to improve the quality or functionality of their product offerings, thereby allowing them to compete more effectively. Consider Boeing's 777, a commercial jet airlines. 8 Japanese suppliers make parts for their doors and wings. A supplier in Singapore makes parts for their doors, and a supplier in Italy manufactures wing flaps, and so on. In total, some 30% of the 777 by value is built by foreign companies. For its most recent jet airlines, the 787, Boeing has pursued this trend even further. Some 65% of the total value of the aircraft is introduced for foreign countries.
Advantages of globalization: increase in employment opportunities. As globalization increases, more and more companies are setting up business in other countries. This in turn increases the employment opportunities that people at one place have. People can get their better jobs without having to move to other countries in search of better jobs. Education. With increase in globalization, it has become easier for people to move across the borders to different parts of the world to acquire the better education. This has resulted in integration of cultures. People from underdeveloped and developing countries often move to developed countries to get better education. Increase in free trade. An increase in free trade has opened doors for investors in developed countries to invest their money in developing countries. Big companies from developed countries have the freedom to operate in developing countries. In 2000, Japanese and European companies started producing high-speed trains in China. This helped Chinese firms in gaining knowledge about the production process, and now Chinese companies such as China South and Rolling Stock Corporation are producing high-speed trains on their own. Faster flow of information. Information flows from one part of the world to the other immediately, resulting in the world being tied together. Vital information can be shared between individuals and corporations at a very fast rate. Increase in quality of goods and services. As a result of globalization, people have access to the best quality of goods and services throughout the world. Companies have to strive to provide better quality goods and services to consumers, and consumers has the liberty of choosing whichever the product he thinks is the best. Reduction in cultural barriers. As people move from one country to another, barriers between various cultures tend to decrease. This has resulted in tolerance and openness towards other countries. This has also facilitated communication between different cultures, hence nations.
Hello everyone, I am going to speak about the disadvantage of globalization. One of the biggest disadvantage of globalization is that the product gets specialized in this country, and because of that it will put barricades for the domestic country. Another disadvantage is that Because of globalization, the developed country will stifle the development of undeveloped country or a developing country. Economic depression in one country will trigger depression in another country. Because of globalization, there will be a wide communal spread of diseases. Companies faces competition because of globalization. Another disadvantage of globalization is that when we think about globalization, we think that there will be more export. But what actually happens in globalization is that there will be more import, which will lead to growing trade deficit and balance of payment problem.
Finally, I would like to conclude by telling that globalization is not bad after all. It is the integration of domestic nation with foreign nations, integration of domestic culture globally. It has both positive and negative effects on society, economy and population. Nowadays, people are getting more connected to each other. Information and money travels faster. People all over the world are now connected. Information travel is more frequent and international communication has become frequent. It cannot be stopped. It is useful in combining the promotion and selling of goods and services for an increasingly interdependent global economy. It is also useful for sourcing the goods and services from around the globe. Globalization has its own pros and cons. We cannot completely avoid globalization or stop it. It has altogether transformed the world into a better place. Thank you.
Advantages of
ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ
advantages of globalization.
of creating networks of connection among people at multi-continental distances. It is the integration of markets in the global economy, leading to the increased feature of late 20th and early 21st century. Thank you very much.
49 seconds. The globalization of production refers to sourcing of goods and services.
Nowadays, marketing globalization trade more than in the stock market. Stock correct.
Because of globalization, there will be a wide communal spread of diseases.
It cannot be stopped.